Now, it seems that there is quite a confusion between the first gov and second gov, and I hope to clarify, but in any case, we still win the debate. Now, I'm going to sum up this debate according to three themes statements. The first one is simply, there is no real problem. The second is going to be, the solution is not proportional and therefore not justified. My third one will be the extensive damages to a large part of the population. But our rebuttal. Now, first of all, please note the very blunt contradiction that we just heard between their attempt to minimize the damage to the parents. Like, there will be only just a little visiting and there will be no supervision between their attempt to prove that it's actually going to help somehow. So just decide what is it going to be. We're saying you don't need to hurt all the parents' rights to privacy in order to protect children. No. Now, then she said, well, you know, all we're trying to do is to check neglect and abuse. We're saying, but these are things that are already being checked right now in the status quo after we get a complaint from neighbors or from doctors and so forth. But once you are there and you investigate the parents feel that they're in a test and they will do things to pass. And I will elaborate on it when it comes to the damages. And thirdly, she said, well, you know, the opposition did not respond to that we only expand the status quo, just like we call parents when they don't immune their children. Well, first of all, we do not force immunizations, whatever, because it's a decision of the parent. Second, coming into the house, this is exactly the line you are crossing, and Adi showed you that when she talked about the way it changes the parents' behavior. Now, ladies and gentlemen, do we have a problem? But first, I really want to hear you.
We also invade the private space, sphere, whatever, when we check into bedroom. You see someone's temple.
Okay, Sana, I'm going to talk about it in my second point when it's not proportional, so just hang with me. Okay, not a problem. Listen, I'm sorry, but first God simply did not succeed to convince me that there is just a mess of abused children who are being hidden in houses everywhere, and now we have to just break into each and every house in the country to expose. No, I'm sorry, we did not hear any kind of logical explanation how this is a real necessity in proportional terms. Now, we already have in the status quo units for cases that happens. We already have parenting class and educational system for preventions. We have, when it comes to trying to protect children and care for children, we have it in the status quo. Now, we heard from second gov saying, well, you know, well, it's in the status quo for the government to interfere, but as Adi showed you in her excellent criteria, that we interfered in things that we are certain about. We interfere about the weight of the baby, not whether, how many times I have to pick him up in my arms and everything. We interfere about things that are measurable, as said, and we interfere when things are inherently dangerous. We interfere when we know the child will be exposed to a car that's riding, so we interfere when we say, put a seatbelt on that baby. We do not need to interfere because parents are, in like 99% of cases, parents have the best interest of their children in mind. They love them. They invest so much in taking care of them. We have no reason to believe that they are going to be dangerous. Okay, why this is not proportional? Okay, we already heard from first off, this is not financially feasible, but we also analyze mostly the principle side of it. This is a too bigger break of privacy and the right to care for my children according to my own way. Because according to Sala's criteria, we need to force everybody to do a colonoscopy, or we need to strip search everybody right now in this room. But no, we don't do it because we have to balance it with the right for privacy. And no. Okay, now, then we heard from second gov, the real face of this proposition. They just want to put a cop on their parent and saying, this is how you should parent, and this is not how you should parent. parent. Okay, fine. And first off, told you, minorities are going to be especially vulnerable in these cases. And Adi showed you that the presence, the mere presence of the social worker in the house of a woman who just had a baby, and it's going to be a very judgmental experience that will change the way that parent behaves. And this is bad, because our freedom to choose the way we're going to care for our children, the way we behave in our own home, is a basis in a democratic society. Our liberal ethos is we have the right as individuals to write our own life story. While taking care of our baby, this is about the most intimate chapter in our life story, and I did show you how this is going to change. Damages, no. Damages. Listen, the entire side of proposition simply ignored the damages. They said, well, if we solve one case sooner, on the way we bothered millions of people, we just don't care. We're saying this is just not a good enough answer. According to this logic, we just have to go and start arresting people randomly just to check if they're planning to do something bad. This is not how we work in a democratic society. We don't check people in advance. Now, first off, mentioned in damages that there will be an increased risk to extracting children from their house when there shouldn't be. Okay, but I did show you a very, much more common damage that is going to happen. Damage to the intimacy between parents and their babies. First 2 months of life, this is a critical time for the attachment between the baby and the mother. How the hell am I supposed to be attached to my baby, to care for her in the most intimate ways that I know, when I have this woman coming into my house? She's a stranger. She looks at me, and because the way I behave or the cleanliness level of the house simply doesn't fit her own standards, this is going to change my behavior because I want to please her, because I want her to get the hell out of my house. This is an extreme invasion of privacy of each and every family. Nobody in First Gov deals with it, and this is why this debate goes to second off.